back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Live from Amerant Bank Arena, it's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 on Wednesday, December the 17th, 2025. Welcome on in, everybody. It's Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. We got Christian Cat up north at West Palm Beach. We're down in Sunrise, where you got the Florida Panthers tonight taking on home ice against the Los Angeles Kings. Two teams sort of middle in the pack in their respective conferences. Kings coming in losing their last three, and the Panthers, on the other hand, winning their last two. So we'll see if the Panthers can keep that home momentum. They've been good on this ice all throughout the year. You know, even though they've been shorthanded up to this point, we got a packed guest show today. We're going to hear from Steve Politziner, the opposing coach during our youth basketball game yesterday. The Good Karma Brands president and the Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer. He will join us at 4:40. We'll hear from the general manager of the Florida Panthers himself. They recently have celebrated the 5-year anniversary of this, move to get Bill Zito in as general manager for the Florida Panthers. 5 years and a bunch of President's Cups and Stanley Cups later. Here he is spearheading one of the top franchises in sports, not just the NHL. Well, he'll join us around 5:20. We got a lot to talk about today, including especially, Mike McDaniel alluded to it earlier. Earlier in the year, he kind of duped us in saying, we're going to keep everything on the table. He ends up bringing in Tua Tagovailoa to start the next couple of weeks forthcoming. They win a couple of games. Then after Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh, where it was a terrible performance altogether, down 28-3 in the second half, Tua Tagovailoa, again, another bad game for him. And Mike McDaniel announces, out goes Tua, in comes Quinn Ewers. So now we're going to see what Quinn Ewers is made of. He got 3 games here the rest of the way, and there are no real playoff aspirations. They're officially eliminated, and they got the Bengals, the Buccaneers, and the Patriots, 2 of which are at home. So all eyes are going to see on if anything's going to change, if this benching will change anything in terms of how they view the offseason, how this reflects on Mike McDaniel as a head coach. So a lot of things to keep an eye on now that Quinn Ewers is in as a starter.
Yeah, and I truly think that this is the end of Mike McDaniel. I really do think that these two are tied at the hip, and he's benching his guy. We talked a lot about this yesterday. I think that it's more likely McDaniel out, Tua there next year because of the giant contract, and you go from there. But it's Groundhog Day, whatever you want to call it. Here we go again. The Dolphins are going to win 6-7 games, and we are right back in the spot that we were last year. Nothing has changed with Mike McDaniel. They beat a bunch of bad teams. I give him credit for Buffalo. I do. But Buffalo has been known in the middle of the season to lose 2-3 games and then do what they've recently just did, win 6 of 7, and be right and primed and ready for the playoffs. Still have a chance at that division too, but you think the Patriots will be able to take care of that. But my ultimate takeaway, this is the last move. This is Mike McDaniel's last move that he's going to make, I think, of substance as a Miami Dolphin head coach. I am a little surprised that it's not Zach Wilson. It's the 7th-round pick, Quinn Ewers, instead. Other than that, this is his last dance here. This is McDaniel's last chance to win a couple of games with the Dolphins, because I think one of the first orders of business that ownership is going to do with the Dolphins after the season is to relinquish the coach of his head coaching duties. It makes sense. It makes complete sense.
Let me pose the hypothetical. Is there a path anywhere, any path, left, right, or center, that the Dolphins can take in the next 3 games that will give the ownership group, whoever the front office is nowadays, I guess a little bit of confidence in the coach now that Tua's out, and all of a sudden, if they play better offensively, they're a little bit more inclined. They got a guy, Quinn Ewers, who I know is a 7th-round pick, but if he could show at least a little sign of life, do you think there's a world in which they could see that and think, all right, maybe this isn't a McDaniel thing, maybe this is a Tua thing?
Quinn Ewers would have to light it up like it's Vegas.
What do you think that level is? What do you think we need to see from Quinn Ewers to protect? Because I agree with you. I don't think McDaniel after this, the past couple of games, I think a lot of good things would need to happen in order for him to be safe in the offseason. What do you think would need to happen?
It's asking the impossible from a rookie. Play mistake-free football. Not a lot of rookies have been able to do it the last couple of years. Look back at even I mentioned the Patriots. Look at how subpar Drake May was his rookie year, how he was turning the ball over. The recent kind of case study of this was Jaden Daniels. He was able to come in and really light the league on fire.
The number 2 overall pick in the draft.
That's what I mean.
This is a 7th round pick.
This is a 7th rounder. But to answer your question, play turnoverless football, throw for 200-plus yards and a plethora of touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen. And I think he was a 7th-round pick for a reason. We saw a lot of him in college. So he stuck around in college for a while, went to 2 college football playoffs and 2 semifinals. He was let's call it for it, he is a very good college quarterback, a very efficient college quarterback. But this is the NFL. And to come in at this point on a stinker of a team, and listen, the Dolphins do have solid pieces on offense. Waddle's nice. They got a stable of running backs, pretty good O-line. It's not like he's walking into a helpless situation like the Giants with Jackson Dart. But I think he was a 7th-round pick for a reason. I do. He would have to light it up beyond belief and be the guy heading into the next season. So he's not going to be – my best guess, Quinn Ewers is not going to be the guy heading into next season, and his play on the field is going to prove it. Why would you keep McDaniel around?
So hold on. Well, why would keeping Tua as the starting quarterback, why would that do the Dolphins any good in this situation? Or McDaniel for that case, if you're talking about McDaniel protecting his job. But you're also talking about from a team perspective, what good does it do? We've already seen enough from Tua this season specifically. Why wouldn't he make a move?
I personally think when it comes to these two, when it comes to McDaniel and it comes to Tua, they are tied at the hip. If you are benching this guy, you're a guy that you've went to bat for numerous times. If you're benching this guy, you're in over your head. And I could argue he's been in over his head for the last couple of years.
Well, how is that? You can't just pin it all to his woes completely. You can't pin some of it, not all of it on the coach.
Not a lot of
people. That's not fair.
Colin, not a lot of coaches and GMs survive a first-round pick and that contract not panning out.
Now,
That's my pushback.
He walked in and Tua was there, right?
And but we talk all the time. You sign up for that. Like Matt Eberflus got Justin Fields. They were tied at the hip somehow, some way. Ryan Poles decided to bring him back for Caleb Williams. But like Brian Dable, the Danny Dimes situation, that ultimately is the situation that did him in. I know the GM's still there, but I feel like a lot of the times the head coach and the general manager are going to be tied to their quarterback that they paid. You're my numbers guy. What, $250 million?
$275, I want to say.
$50 million a year. This guy's making $50 million a year. That's why I think Cleveland, you're going to see turnover there. All these places with these failed quarterbacks, you are going to see turnover that have these giant contracts. You can't last that. And it's unsustainable because they're making a ton of money and they're taking away from, putting people and players in to help fix this situation. Quinn Ewers is going to have to look like Brock Purdy his rookie year. Quinn Ewers is going to have to go, there you go. He's going to have to be full-on Brock Purdy that rookie year for the 49ers in order to be around for the shop. Maybe the Rosses already have their mind made up. I feel like you're under the assumption, and a lot of Miami Dolphin fans are under the assumption that he earned himself another year. I refuse to be there because if he comes back again next year, it's a wasted season. It is. It's a wasted season on a Dolphins team that I think has enough talent to at least be a 9-10 win team with the right coaching and the proper adjustments.
Well, they are a 6. They're going to be a 7-win team. It could be an 8-win team this year. It's not that far off.
1-6 start. That can't happen. The 1-6 start can't happen, and your $50 million man can't look like a guy, bagging groceries. That should be bagging groceries and not playing.
You keep pinning it on Tua, and then you circle it back to because Tua's bad, therefore McDaniel's bad. The one thing I agree. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
It's fine.
I agree with you from the perspective of, hey, well, McDaniel is also 0-8 when it's under 40 degrees for the Miami Dolphins in his tenure there. So it's not just a Tua problem, and that includes 2 games which Tua did not play. And the Miami Dolphins have not been good at replacing Tua when he has went down. Is that partially management? Yes. But I think it's also partially the coach that we haven't seen anybody who could run this system that is not named Tua Tagovailoa, and he can barely do it. Mm-hmm. So if we're under the impression that Quinn Ewers is sort of walking in to just be a placeholder until the end of the year, I could see the vision. But if there was a move that had to be made, I'd make the argument that McDaniel had no choice here. He had no choice because I think everybody, including and especially the fans and everybody involved with the team, I would even argue the players, would know that Tua, we are handicapped in our ability to succeed because, and not solely because, but partially and mainly because of Tua's play. Right? Like that's exactly what they're thinking is we are completely handicapped in terms of what we can do passing the football. We've seen spouts, 4 games in a row is nothing to scoff at. So, but for McDaniel, this was the only move. Now, I don't know if I could commend him for it because I feel like his hand was forced. It's not like this was his decision. If you really wanted to give yourself an opportunity to prove yourself outside of Tua Tagovailoa, you'd have benched him 5 weeks ago. You would have benched him with a half a season to go. Benching him with three games to go, to Mike's point, what could possibly change in the next 3 games that gives not only fans confidence, but the ownership confidence that not only McDaniel can do his job, but Ewers potentially. So you're giving Ewers a bad crack at it because he's going to get, 12 quarters of football to prove himself against 3 pretty good teams. And then on top of that, if you're really going to, you can make that to the argue side of things, you can't draw conclusions from 3 games. It's not fair. You can't do that. So I don't really know. You're stuck in 2 different spots. It was a bad in-between that they decided to do this. If you're going to make this move, you should have known it 5 weeks ago. I mean, it doesn't take 15 weeks to determine that Tua doesn't give you the best position to succeed. It shouldn't take 15 weeks for that. Now, if you made this decision at week 11 and you give him 8 weeks to figure this out, that's a little different.
Yeah, and
3 games is tight.
The contract, like the reason I keep saying they're attached to the hip. Number one, he's gone to bat for him numerous times.
Well, he's supposed to.
He's
supposed to.
I'm not saying he's not supposed to.
Guys,
but
he
he
paid
was
$50 million. You're going to say you like your quarterback.
He was also a part of. You can't tell me he didn't want to pay him. You know what I mean? I understand Chris Greer was the one who ultimately was that's on the hook for that, and he doesn't have a job anymore. But he signed off on it too. If you're benching your $50 million guy, what is that telling the rest of the organization? What is that telling the rest of the team? This guy is not up to snuff, and he cannot play. And to take it even a little deeper, like. Tua has had locker room. Remember with the locker room, he said something he wasn't supposed to say. He came out and apologized for it. Him
and Tyreek Hill's relationship was in bad situation.
And rewind to last year. Mike McDaniel lost the locker room in preseason. They were fighting each other.
Players only.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You bring in a new voice. You bring in a new guy. You have Tua around because of the giant contract, and you try to figure out the quarterback position. If you can't get rid of him via trade, if you don't want to eat it, because to your credit, you always tell me it's a lot of dead cap, fine. If you don't want to eat the contract, go out and try to find a solution for a year. Go out and try to find a Daniel Jones. I know Indianapolis, that situation blew up when he got hurt, but they looked pretty doggone good the first 9 weeks of the season when they were 8-1. All right? So go try to emulate that. Go try to put something out on the field that's going to be able to compete for a possible playoff spot. I keep saying this, but I do think the Dolphin roster is good. I think the Dolphins have done some good things on the offensive line. They have good skill weapons. They have good running backs. The defense has significantly turned it around. I keep on bringing up the parallel of Jacksonville. The Jags went into this year with more or less offensive line and what else? Offensive line.
They needed offensive line, and they needed a couple key defensive secondary pieces.
But more or less, they made 2 or 3 signings in free agency, and here we go.
Or more than that, but yeah.
But new coach, your first-round picks aren't even contributing to the team because they're all injured. What's the difference? Coaching, and you got a quarterback that the coach believes in. And then that was supposed to, Mike McDaniel's guy was supposed to be Tua. That's why I keep pushing this out. If he is benching this guy, that guy is done. Donezo. And he better be done because if you bring him back, it's going to be a Matt Eberflus situation. It's going to be a Brian Daboll situation. You don't want to bring a guy back half you know what. If you're not fully committed to this guy, get rid of him. The GM is already gone.
They're not getting rid of him. You're talking
at the end of the offseason. I'm talking about McDaniel.
Oh, McDaniel.
I'm talking about McDaniel. All right? Because my big takeaway from this is this guy is done. He benched Tua, the $50 million man. He was part of the sign-off.
You're acting like that's a bad decision. It's not a bad decision.
But it's a failure. This window for the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel has been a failure.
There's no doubt about that.
It's time to move on. It's time to move on to the next thing.
I don't think the decision to bench Tua should tell you that McDaniel is finished. But I think McDaniel, I would have fired him before the offseason, before the season even started. I agree with you from the perspective that this was a dead end waiting to happen, and there was no control of that team. I don't care how the last 5 weeks have looked. There's just no control of it. There's no consistency. And they've gotten hurt. They've gotten unlucky with a couple key injuries, defensively before the season started, whatever. But I don't think the idea that making this decision should be the straw that broke the camel's back and McDaniel's out. I agree with you on one thing specifically, too. That big thing is doing it with 3 weeks to go, doing it after week 15. You got 3 games. You get 12 quarters, and you're going to bench your starting quarterback then, the guy and when you're mathematically eliminated from the season. So I guess the question I pose is, What are you looking to gain out of this? You're going to give a 7th-round pick 12 quarters to determine whether he will come back next year to get a fair shot at starting a quarterback? That's not fair to him. And what? You're going to try to do a whole, I guess, regroup and reestablish your opinion and conclusion on Mike McDaniel because of 12 quarters? That's not fair either. So I don't really know what the goal is. But I agree with you in hindsight that they're better off washing it all than they are running it back.
Tua signed his contract in 2024, July of 2024. Let's rewind back to 2020, all right? Because we're going to go through the years until after Tua signed his deal. You were a 10-win football team during 2020, all right? Moving on to 2021, even better. 9-8. 9-8 in 2021, and then after that,
and that's when they got rid of Flores.
Correct. And then in 2022, all right, you were 9 wins again, but you made the playoffs. In 2023 was the 11-win year. Since then, since Tua signed the deal, 2024, 8 wins. You just missed out on the playoffs. This year, 2025, you're probably going to have 7 wins.
I mean, there are worse situations.
There are. But this was a team, you signed Tua, you signed Tyreek Hill. This was a team that's supposed to win playoff games and to possibly compete for Super Bowls. Does it look like that this team, under the leadership of Mike McDaniel, is ready to win? We go through the stats. I'm not going to sound like a broken record, but we go through the stats of how he is at the end of the seasons as well. You mentioned the cold weather games. Something always happens. Something always happens. And don't get me wrong, the 2023 season, when they won 11 games, they were one of the more fun teams in the NFL that we
scored 70 points on the Broncos.
They were great. I mean, the Tua was throwing the deep ball. Tyreek Hill was committed. Jalen Waddle, the rookie, was unbelievable. And then you start paying guys and you give $50 million to the quarterback, and then all of the distractions with the Mike McDaniel, him losing the locker room and that not being a, quote, football guy and a no-nonsense guy. He's their friend. He's not a coach. I feel like enough is enough. And I think owner Stephen Ross thinks the same way. He fired the GM, the guy that's been with the organization for over 20 years, right? And they fired him. That goes to show that I think that this is a group that's ready to move on. I'm not going to scold him for not firing him midseason because the Dolphins don't necessarily do that. Fine. But to sit here and the conversation that I hate is, oh, McDaniel earned himself another year. Why? Why did this guy earn himself another year? I rest my case.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, 888-760-3776. I'm going to get into Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Did Mike McDaniel make the right decision? Is the timing wrong? Is he a dead man walking with that job? Is he out after the season? Let us know. 888-760-3776. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, live from Amerant Bank Arena. We'll take a time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long-distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
On December 17th, golf changes. Team Rory and Team Scotty, two of the biggest stars in the world, step onto the course built under the lights for challenges the sport has never seen before. The Optum Golf Channel Games. Fast-paced, high-pressure, up close, and unforgettable. With only a limited number of fans, you'll be just steps from the action. You can also elevate your night with exclusive hospitality experiences. Be there when history is made at Trump Jupiter. Get your tickets now at golfchannelgames.com.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time, Sam.
Temperatures are dropping, but the deals are just getting hot.
Time for our annual Ford Holiday Gift Guide.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to go wrong with great deals on trucks and SUVs from Ford, America's all-time best-selling auto brand.
Don't forget the first rule of holiday gift giving, Hank.
What's that, Sam?
Always remember to treat yourself, too.
Well said.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto, all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Robinhood, the official jersey patch partner of the Miami Heat. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
This holiday season, give your loved ones, friends, and colleagues a gift with endless possibilities. Give them a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat those who matter most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new Golf and Racket Club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card. Compliments of the Breakers. This year, give a gift that has endless possibilities. Visit thebreakers.com today. Happy holidays from the Breakers family to yours.
The countdown to kickoff is on, and the road to the national championship runs through Miami. Don't miss the ultimate New Year's Day celebration. The college football playoff quarterfinal at the Capital One Orange Bowl kicks off at Hard Rock Stadium on Thursday, January 1st at noon. The Capital One Orange Bowl. History happens here. For tickets, visit orangebowl.org.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and I'm dropping the gloves. Your new home for the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers is ESPN 106.3. Tonight, the Panthers host the Kings in a big showdown on the ice. South Florida is ready to light the lamp. Coverage starts at 7 right here on ESPN 106.3.
It's time to spill the beans, football fans. The 12th annual Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans is Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Louisville, fresh off wins over playoff teams Miami and James Madison, faces Toledo, chasing a record third bowl title. Louisville versus Toledo. Scoop your seats now at BocaRatonBowl.com. The Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human, y'all.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, if you want to watch world number 1 and world number 2 in golf, Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy will be at Trump Jupiter tonight for the Optum Golf Channel Games, the first of its kind. And what it is it's team style. So you got Team McIlroy versus Team Scheffler. Team McIlroy includes Shane Lowry, Luke Donald, the European captain for the Ryder Cup, and also on the Scheffler side, you got the USA captain, Keegan Bradley, Sam Burns, a bunch of other golfers going to be there and doing a little bit more arcade style. They're going to have 5 different types of activities to go head-to-head against each other. Time drive, time short game, 14 club challenge where you eliminate a club from a bag after each shot. They do a timed shootout where each of the players are at a different spot on one hole. And the idea is everybody gets a shot and you finish off the hole as fast as possible. Go see that live tonight, 7:30. At the Trump Jupiter Golf Club. You can get tickets today at thegolfchannelgames.com. Tickets are on sale still, and you could go tonight. So make sure you go to that, the Optum Golf Channel Games. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm, ESPN South Florida. What is the best case scenario for the next 3 games for the Miami Dolphins here? What is the best case scenario?
You find a franchise quarterback. That's
you
the
could
best
find
case
one.
scenario.
You could find one in 3 games.
Well, what I'm saying is a guy that you could carry into next season and feel comfortable.
Him and Tua, you do it again.
Yeah, I mean, we said you. Granted, I've been all over Mike McDaniel for the sake of the argument. Let's say they make the mistake of bringing Coach McDaniel back. All right, if Ewers plays well the last 3 games, and well is a word, no turnovers, 200 yards, plethora of touchdowns. You could bring that into training camp, right? And I feel like Dolphin fan would be satisfactory. Maybe draft a quarterback. It's someone you like in the 3rd or 4th round, someone you want to take a flyer on, and you could bring that into training camp. The absolute certain best situation is Ewers looks like Brock Purdy. The kind of comparison I mentioned in the first segment when, Mr. Irrelevant, 7th round pick Brock Purdy came in for Kyle Shanahan and lit it up like Vegas. That's the best case scenario, is if Quinn Ewers comes in and does that.
For 3 games, though. You could come to any conclusion in 3 games?
They have 6 wins. They have 6 wins. If they win all 3, that's a winning season. If they win all 3, Coach McDaniel could go back to Stephen Ross and go, I won 9 games while starting 1-6.
He stays with that. He's not a dead man walking in that scenario.
I personally still think it would be a mistake, but I tend to agree with you. You
don't fire him if he wins the 3 last games of the year without Tua. You don't fire him for that.
Well, yeah, but also like Ewers would have to be something.
You fire him with 2-1. I guess it's it's about how it looks.
By the way, the Dolphins are home against the Bengals, home against the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are going to be fighting tooth and nail for a playoff spot. And then they're at the Patriots. Patriots might not need the game.
They will probably need the game, but there's a chance they don't.
Okay. If my personal opinion, you don't bring him back because you fired the general manager who hired him. Stephen Ross, Dolphins
I'm just
thinking,
trying to draw the line.
You're right, but to your credit, Stephen Ross and Dolphins thinking, they probably do bring him back. They probably do. I personally think it would be the wrong move. And that's nothing against McDaniel, all right? Listen, McDaniel, like me, had dealt with alcohol issues. I respect Mike McDaniel as a man. I just look at the issues in the locker room and everything that has happened on the field with Tua, off the field, the fights, the damn joint practices. Like, enough is enough. Isn't enough enough? That the guy who hired him isn't here anymore. It's time to move on. Personal opinion.
There is a path for McDaniel to hang around. As it stands today, yeah, of course they're not happy with him, but they got 3 games remaining against 3 iffy teams. It depends on how competitive those games are. The Buccaneers haven't played well. The Patriots might not need the game, and the Bengals are also similar to the Dolphins and a bit of free fall themselves. So there is probably a path. If I were to draw a line, if they go 2-1, 3 total competitive games, and Quinn Ewers shows guts, shows clearly that the system can work. And remember, he's been practicing all year.
Yeah.
If he shows that this system can work with an alternative quarterback that's not named, Tim Boyle or Skylar Thompson from years past, then I think McDaniel would have earned himself another crack at it and would have given him an offseason to either go Quinn Ewers or go find somebody that is worth a veteran flyer, not too expensive, to get in there and replace Tua.
Now, I also
because that would be the conclusion. If at the season, if they show guts for 3 games without Tua and they look like a completely different team, then you walk away from that thinking Tua is problem number 1. He still might be, but he is definite and by and large problem number 1 that needs to be addressed in the offseason.
I'm going to hold my thought on McDaniel real quick because dude, how do you think Zach Wilson feels? Zach Wilson signed with the Dolphins going, okay, injury-prone quarterback. Sam Darnold turned around his career.
We know it's
Baker
Zach Wilson's had plenty of opportunity.
We could have said the same about Darnold.
Totally.
And it's like, but like if you're Zach Wilson, you're definitely upset that your name isn't being called the. I mean, granted, golf. These guys are competitors. They're he wants to be a quarterback again in the NFL. I think it speaks a lot. I think it speaks a lot that they're playing Ewers over Zach Wilson.
Here's what it says. Put yourself in McDaniel's shoes. Would I bench Tua in favor of disgruntled journeyman starter that failed colossally at the Jets? And of course, you're thinking Darnold. Not everybody is Darnold. So is that option A or option B? I could bring in 7th-round rookie quarterback where there's a little bit more of a leash in terms of how he plays because he's never played at this level before. And there is a little bit more to gain if he plays well. If Quinn Ewers were to play well, it bulletproofs Mike McDaniel just a little bit. If Zach Wilson does, what does that really tell you?
Here's a little pushback. We just got done talking about McDaniel needs to win this amount of games to be brought back. The fact that they think that 7th-round pick is better than Zach Wilson, I think speaks volumes.
There's more to gain. There's more to gain from it. Zach Wilson playing well versus Quinn Ewers playing well, it's more enticing to the fan and ownership with Quinn Ewers playing.
Now, let me circle back around to that winning conversation because I did speak to a Dolphin fan who said, we didn't beat anybody good this year outside of Buffalo. You beat the Jets twice. Listen, I think the Saints have personally played better. I think they've shown a little guts towards the end of the year. Ultimately going to be a top 5 draft pick team. And the last team was the Commanders, who have been an absolute mess with Jaden Daniels and an elderly roster. Is there anything there? Is there anything there that you lost against basically every single good team you played, not named the Buffalo Bills this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a McDaniel guy, but I'm just saying from a coach's perspective, he will allot himself another year because the Dolphins don't need to – we talked about this yesterday. They do not need to blow things up after the season. They don't. It's a horribly run franchise. I think everybody's on that same page. But what they have done is they have handcuffed themselves to a contract that has a year's expiration date. So you got one more year that you got to deal with this Tua contract, and then you can cut the contract, wipe your hands, and run off into the sunset with $35 million, whatever it is, in dead cap. Until that point, it's a little bit of a buffer. And with that buffer, if it really is getting rid of the coach and bringing in new coach and has to eat it with Tua for a season and then all of a sudden you could bring in somebody else, or if you're just going to have Tua rot in the bench with $56 million rotting away, I guess you can do that. But that would have to be an ownership, front office, and coaching decision that everybody's on the same page that this season doesn't matter.
Does Mike McDaniel, does keeping him around, are you one step closer to winning a playoff game since, 93, 92? Remind me?
Make the argument they've been 9-8. What tells you that getting in a new coach is going to completely fix that immediately?
Get to the next step. This is a roster that's ready to win. Bring somebody in that is going to be able to.
You're trying to diagnose a problem, and you're grouping in the problems with Tua and McDaniel. Is that fair? Yes, it could be fair. Is it probably the way they're thinking? No. They're thinking, hey, maybe one is the problem and the other is not. Maybe they're both problems. But I don't think they're on the page that you are, where these two are the exact same entity, and when one stinks, the other stinks. And when McDaniel has a bad game, Tua has a bad game. When Tua has a bad game, McDaniel has a bad game.
Both these two guys, and Tua and they're not going to be the ones that take you to the promised land. So go find the ones. Go find the guys who are going to get you there. The Tua contract is. I'm going in circles with. We're going in circles with the Tua contract.
You got a buffer.
Fine.
You got a buffer.
But
you gotta wait.
it's. In the end of the day, you want to get the right people there. Not everybody can win, Colin. I understand all that. Not everybody can be the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But you got to try. It's your job to try. It's the owner's job to find the right people, or whoever's running the show, whatever GM they hire. It's his job to find the right two guys at the quarterback position and the head coach position to take them to the promised
I'll finish
land.
it with this. This is not a team that has won 3 games for 4 years running. Just keep that in mind. This is not a team that has went 4-13 for 2 straight seasons. Not that.
But would you rather be that team getting top-tier draft picks and a chance to figure
Ask
things
yourself
out?
that. You're a Browns fan.
Listen, not everyone are the Browns. That's the fact of the matter.
You're a Brown? That's the exact position you just compared it to. Would you rather win 4-13 every year and get draft picks, or would you rather be 9-8 and be competitive for the postseason every year? For 3 years.
I feel like it's a chicken or the egg, but I get what you're saying. I do. And as a miserable fan of my team, I'd rather be good. But the Dolphins have been good, though. They've been mediocre for so long. I feel like fans are ready to see something. It's the same thing with the Miami Heat. I feel like it's Groundhog Day. I swear to God, we had the same conversations with the Miami Heat of being mediocre, and fans slamming their fists. They want this, they want that. If you're not going to go get this guy, you might as well tank for draft picks. It's a tough situation. Being mediocre is a very tough sell. It really is.
They won 11 games 2 years ago. I understand your point, but you got to understand, yes, they're terrible this year. They haven't been awful in years past. They haven't. That's just not the case. But I digress, and we continue. Talk about getting the right people in there. I'll tell you, when you're looking for the doctor, you go look no further than Men's Only Medical because that's the right person.
And you got to go check out Doc Al on North Dixie Highway. Folks, it's the concierge healthcare service. It's the concierge healthcare service. Riz, what's the concierge healthcare service? I Doc Al's number. I said a couple weeks back, I had something going on with my toe. You guys know I'm a big runner. All the listeners of the show know I love running on the treadmill, love getting my steps in, love getting my 5K in. I had something going on with my toe, and I wanted Doc Al to take a look at it. Wasn't waiting on hold. I didn't get some godforsaken automated message. I texted his number. I texted Doc Al, my good friend Doc Al, and he could have got me in as soon as the same day. Ended up going the next day. We figured it out. Boom. That easy. Also, folks, if you're kind of on the elderly side, if you got heart issues, cardiovascular issues, if you're suffering with hair loss, and listen, hair loss isn't just for elderly people, so don't take it that way. If you're suffering with hair loss, if you got heart issues, if you need a skin assessment, if you're not liking the wrinkles on your face or whatever it may be, Doc Al could take care of that because it's also a men's health clinic. It is the one-stop shop for men. You see around town all of the health clinics for women. This is the one-stop shop for men. If you're a partier on the weekend, trust me, Colin and I were with them this past weekend. You're a partier on the weekend, got a little hangover? Go get a liquid IV. Doc Al will get you right. That's Doc Al, North Dixie Highway. He has something for you. Go check him out. mensonlymedical.com or walk in. Go see Nurse C. Go see Doc Al and tell him Riz sent you.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. So Mike and I had a youth basketball game, probably our biggest game to this point in our short-lived careers as youth basketball coach for the 7th and 8th grade boys side up there in Palm Beach Gardens. And the vice president of that league and also the Good Karma Brands president, so basically the president of our company, and the also Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer, Steve Politziner. We could win against his team yesterday after a lot of bad blood, after a bad start to the season where Steve Politziner himself, tried to take away one of our best players on the team for invalid reasons.
Now, I will defend Steve a bit. He said he had nothing to do with that situation.
I don't believe him. We'll talk to him on the other side of things because we played yesterday, and it was a hard-fought battle in which Russo and Rizzo won the ESPN Cup, remained victorious for the first time and for many more. We'll talk to him on the other side. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit SignoramawPB.com.
Shot, I know you be hearing this and that from here and there, but please trust and believe, little mama. I see you gon' ride for me, so I'ma die for you. It's you with me? But let's get it.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. If you're driving on down to Amaranth Bank Arena going to the Panther game, you get a little fender bender. Because if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, fender bender, slip and fall, flat on the stairs, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're the type that like to fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back, and they can get yours too, because they don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve in these situations. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand the best. Demand Anajar and Levine, because that all takes is that one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for the free consultation now. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control with Anajar and Levine. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. Russo and Rizzo won the first ever inaugural ESPN Cup in youth basketball, 7th and 8th grade boys, in which Mike and I coach a team, and our president of our company, Steve Politziner, also coaches a team, also a VP of the league itself. We like to loop in Steve because it was a hard-fought game with some questionable officiating. But Steve Politziner, the Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer, vice president of the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association, and the Good Conference president with us now. Steve, how are you? What's going on? How'd you sleep?
First off, congratulations, guys, on the win. It was a great game,
Steve?
hard-fought game. Can you hear me?
Hello. Hello. Hi, Steve. Welcome in. What's going on? How'd you sleep? What's going on?
I said congratulations. It was a hard-fought game. Somebody had to win. It was one of those games where, like, it could have gone. You guys had it most of the game. We made a little flurry late, and at the end, you guys were the rightful winners. Now, I do think it's kind of weak that you lead with saying you won and then also question the officiating. Like, well, who does that? Like,
we do,
because
Steve, the officiating.
With the officiating.
I mean, geez.
Yeah,
it
was rough.
You have him in your back pocket, brother. I mean, you are the vice president of the league. Steve, you know me. I give you credit when I can. I do appreciate you, Uncle Steve. Last night's officiating was a real problem, and I might reach out to Benji for a future probe. There might be a probe.
We need to check their backgrounds.
Yes. Correct. Now,
I don't question you. We've had this discussion. I don't question youth officiating. I think those guys who do their best. It's very hard to get guys to do this, and it's because of stuff like what you guys just said. Who wants to deal with it for pennies? Who wants to deal with it? I mean, why should that mar what was otherwise just an awesome game? You think I was happy about every call? No, but I'm not coming on here and it would never be a sore loser.
Hold on.
You guys beat us, and it was a good game.
This is why it's hard to take Steve seriously. Here's the problem. So if you go to ESPN West Palm Play, ESPN South Florida on YouTube, you can check out a video where Steve himself and myself were mic'd up during the game. The amount of times that Steve was calling travel, quite a bit. So if you're talking about, I love the officials. They're great people. They're trying their hardest.
I was just saying it to myself.
Clearly,
right.
Yeah,
I got a warning. That was the first warning I ever got.
The referees almost threw us out.
They came up to me. They're like, listen, tech's coming. So that's why, listen, after the third quarter, halfway through the third quarter, I looked at Coach Collin. I said, Coach, we're about to get thrown out of this game right now, so we really have to stop. The worst was the 3-second call. Steve, we had the ball for less than 3 seconds, and dude calls 3 seconds.
Most ridiculous call of the entire game.
One of the worst things.
A great drive to the basket, a crucial.
Fourth quarter.
They called the whistle, thought it was an and one. Everybody's getting fired up, and he goes, no basket, offensive 3 seconds. First time all game, offensive 3 seconds. I mean, that, and then I saw a continuation foul. What is this, the NBA?
Yes.
What are the rules here? It was nuts.
And then we had about three or four.
I'm not here to question officials, but if you want to talk anything about the game, I'm happy to do that.
But the three, and then we had 3 or 4 and ones. I was screaming and one the whole game because we were getting mauled. We were getting mauled, and the kids were finishing.
Spotty officiating, nonetheless. Steve, the final possession of the game, you guys were down 4. You go down the court, you get an open look at a 3, you drill it from the left wing. Boom, down 1. I call a timeout. You draw up a press. I draw up a little press break. Let's just say the kids did not run the press break. And somebody who was at midcourt, goes up to grab the ball out of like a panic, and then it was an immediate turnover on our part. This is with seconds remaining, by the way. And Steve's team gets the ball. And gets an open look under the basket for a layup. It just dribbles out, and that was the game. That's how close Steve's team was.
Correct.
Steve, why don't you walk us through those last couple of possessions when you were playing from behind? What was the message to the guys, and what was the message post-game?
Yeah, well, it was frenzy there, and it was you guys took the early lead, and you guys had the lead most of the game. And I try to blame myself. Should have put a press on a little bit earlier, just to add a little pressure. You have some good ball handlers, but just to add a little pressure because we've done it a few times this year. But I had to also get the combinations right, on my team, and it felt like it was starting to go our way. But some days you just miss layups, and yesterday was one of those days. We missed some makeable shots, but we got ourselves in that hole early on. I think it's just so fun. Colin hates this because I'm not a sore loser, and I won't get in. I will not
buy
get
it.
in.
It's not that I don't like it. I don't buy it.
I went last night. I get home, and yes, in anything like losing bothers me because I feel like I let our team down. I let our parents down. I let the kids down. Like I take it like as a personal responsibility. But I also, you asked how I sleep. I thought it was why you do it, why the kids play, why you coach, parents. Like it was so fun to have. It wasn't a blowout. It was back and forth. It was right up to the end. And while I know our kids were sad, we took that team group picture because you guys did a great job turning this from just a regular season game to making it the NBA
the ESPN Cup. The ESPN Cup.
Yeah, but and I saw the picture, and the picture was going around for some groups of friends involved in basketball today. And someone wrote who won, and I said, look at the faces of the kids. Can't you tell? My team was dejected, and your team was all smiles, as they should be. And it was a fun game. I also know a lot of the kids on your team. You have a lot of great kids, and I'm happy for you guys. I'm really happy for you guys, and I assume that we'll get a chance to play again. Assuming I don't know if we play again in the regular season, but hopefully we'll get a chance to play again in the playoffs. So it was. I think there's so few times where the game lives up to the hype, and even though we're on the losing end, the game lives up to the hype, and that made me happy.
Now, Steve, it's sort of the tale of two halves. If you watch how Mike and I coach a game versus how you and Coach Kenny, who is an experienced college basketball coach, formerly on your sideline. I actually was expecting Steve to be a little bit more out there and into it.
He wasn't.
He was very calm and collected.
He was.
I was surprised. I thought it'd be, going Van Gundy crazy, and he wasn't.
That's us.
And it wasn't. Steve,
first of all, guys, I get loud. There's one reason I scream or yell when I coach basketball. It's because I need the kids to hear my direction. But you guys collectively, individually, you two are so loud. Collectively, whatever you've done with the acoustics and the reverb, there's no way I can talk over you guys. So I just went the other way and stayed calm, last night, and mostly gave the directions to when there were like dead balls because there was no other way to get a word in. Rizzo, he's a weapon. Rizzo is a weapon. That volume, it's circling around the gym. I can't even say anything. So the more he screams, the tougher it is to even speak. So good, Jed. Another nice coaching job there by you guys.
Now, Steve, you're alluding to me screaming box out. I found out that's the only way I could get these kids to find a man.
Travel.
Foul.
You didn't even need to be mic'd up. You're coming across clearer than either of us are coming across.
Yeah.
I heard foul and one, box out, and I forget the other thing. That's
both
what I
ways.
heard in my sleep.
I kept screaming both ways. I needed the game officiated. I said, to be fair, I was respectful. I said, sir, please call it both ways. I'd appreciate it if it were both ways. Since it wasn't going both ways. It went first quarter we got a couple of calls, and then for the next of the 3, Steve slipped them a 20.
Yeah, that's true. Here's how you know that, too. Because the first 4 minutes of the game, Steve's team had about 6 team fouls.
Correct. We were in the bonus.
We were at the bonus, and we're not even 3 minutes, 30 seconds into the game.
They were fouling.
And then the whole next 3 quarters, Steve's team had about 2 total fouls.
All of a sudden, they swallowed the whistle.
A great game plan during a timeout.
Did you hear me complaining? Did you hear me complaining when we had 16 fouls in the first quarter? Not a peep.
Steve, I did hear under his breath, Steve talked to a referee. He goes, "Oh, I don't care. I don't complain about officials like them." He said,
"I did say
like that." Did he?
Yeah, he got very upset. He got very upset. I heard it.
Wow, 38-36 final score in Team Russo and Rizzo versus Team Pollitziner. Now, Steve, we only play each other once in the regular season. I think that's the right decision, by the way.
Oh yeah,
because
it's the ESPN Cup.
It's the ESPN Cup. You play that once a year. But continuing on the game, the one thing about it is I do think we deserve technicals probably 2 or 3 different times as a collective. Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. We went after them a couple
fine.
times. The worst one for me was the 3-second call.
That was.
But I also I also said to the referees, I'm like, guys, there's 3 of you, and we haven't made 1 call in 3 minutes on this team on the opposing team. I don't think I would have teched me up if I was a referee.
No, I stopped you. I told you, dude. To be fair, the referee came up to me and said, "Coach, tech is coming." After that, we did not argue. After that, we swallowed our pride and we let the game play out.
Have coaches been thrown out and/or technical fouls administered by the referees this season for our age group?
I've seen it. Oh, I don't know about this season, but yeah, I have seen it. But I think it's been more not being loud. It's been more like abusive. You know, like you guys are
step
loud.
Out of line.
You guys are definitely working the refs, but abusive. That was also a pretty veteran crew. You had there. At least 2 of the 3 were better.
I hate to see what the bad crew looks like, Steve.
Yeah, a veteran crew.
Steve's trying to play nice because he pays these refs.
He does.
So, this is why this is. I get it. You got to play.
But yeah, there is something to be said. The first quarter we were at the free throw line, and then we didn't go to the free throw line until the end of the game.
And you know another thing about the game too.
That's not why I'm trying to play nice. I'm trying to play nice because I think I think about kids, and you have parents listening right now, and you have parents that are sit at games in the stands, not even coaching, sit at games, and I'm not complaining that they're not coaching. It's not for everybody, but sit and complain and work the refs and scream at the refs. We've had to escort people out of games, this year. What was that? Not only does it keep the refs from wanting to ref, it is a horrific example to kids. Why do you think the kids talk back to refs? Because they see the parents and the coaches talking back to refs.
Now one thing.
Call me old school. I'm not a fan of it.
Steve, we run a tight ship over at Team Russo and Rizzo. Number 1, we say nobody. We make it a big deal. Nobody says a word to the refs
other than us.
Mike and I will do it. We make that a big deal. So we're setting a good example there. So before anybody throws us the riot act,
I agree,
and says that we're a bad example to the next generation. Dead wrong.
The moment one of our kids starts talking back to the ref, I shut it down.
Yeah,
shut it down.
Absolutely not. We're not doing that. So that's number 1. And number 2, another fun part about the game, too, was the missed opportunities for both sides.
Oh, my God. We smoked so many layups.
It's one of those games where
dude.
at the end of the game, I think that, Steve, you don't really get to see these kids in a environment where it is nerve-wracking.
Pressure.
Free throws, pressure. You have to get the ball up court. Guys are getting nervous. I think that's actually where you learn about these teams quite a bit. That's where I think the teams learn the most. Both sides, Steve, even your side as well, is pressure environments, need it, got to have it, got to protect the ball here. I think that was the best part of the entire game, was actually seeing a little bit of pressure in a youth game on these players.
Absolutely, and that'll only make them better both in basketball and in the playoffs, but also I think in life. Another one of the great things about youth sports is you deal with these pressures. You have to learn to win or lose. There were some tears from my team last night, and I'm okay with that. Like, they were bummed, and I want people to care. I want people. Yeah, I want people to care. I know.
I'm with you on that,
weird.
Steve.
I didn't get the post game interview, which is totally fine. I noticed they only went to the winning team, post game interview. They didn't do that real sad interview from the losing locker room where you're basically whispering like, Coach, thanks for a few minutes. I know it was a very difficult loss, but what did you say to the team, and what was the team's reaction? Yeah, I didn't have to endure that. So Thankfully for that.
Now, we also missed 12 free throws. All right,
That's a lot of points.
We missed 12 free throws, and I told Steve.
I think we only shot 4, but
Well, we weren't fouling. We weren't fouling.
This is where
we
Steve's
weren't
a
fouling
problem.
at the basket.
No. This is where Steve's a problem because Steve is now. Oh, we only got 4 free throws. Hold on, you guys were shooting threes all game.
Correct.
Our guys go to the basket. It's sort of like Steve. The way I describe our team, and you could let me know if you disagree. We're a Big East bunch. We are down to the basket. We don't shoot threes unless we absolutely need to. We're going to the hoop. Defense creates offense. That is the team offense. Steve's team is a little bit like a Big Ten team or something like that, where they got a good big who plays low post, sort of a la Tim Duncan. And outside of that, they got a couple scrappy scorers, and they got guys who can make layups. It's a little Big Ten versus Big East.
And quickly, Steve, your young man who had the 4 3-pointers was the only reason you were in that game too. That kid was a sniper.
Yep, Landon's a good player, but really, what I would say is what really got us yesterday, and if anyone is still listening to this, I'd be stunned. But what really got us yesterday was the way you packed the zone, and that's what Coach and I immediately afterwards recognized was an area where you dominated. Your defensive zone, it was a 2-3, but it felt like a 6-1. Like you were all over us in the zone, and obviously it doesn't take a genius to know we have to do better against that.
Now, Steve,
on a lot of different levels.
I personally think you're trolling if you're not running a 2-3 in this league. Make them shoot. We made you
I
shoot
like the
and get
man,
credit.
but
Landon,
they can't do the man.
Steve, someone leaves someone.
We play man 95% of the time. In fact, we had only played zone one other time before this, and that was just so the kids knew if we ever needed a zone, and that hurt us. We had to go zone against you guys last night because you guys, as you said, you don't like to shoot the threes. We were struggling in man. And zone helped us. I don't think it was definitively better, though. So I'll have to really reconsider all of our options before we play again.
Now, Uncle Steve, the issue with we try running man, someone's always open. I can only scream. You said
there's not enough practice time in the week.
There is like someone for some reason someone has a brain fart every time, and someone is wide open for a layup. Colin and I finally had enough, and we established a Jim Boeheim Big East 2-3.
Now, Steve, last thing here, and I'm curious because your post game, what did you tell the guys in terms of, you said you had a little, so there were some tears. It was an emotional game. There's no doubt about that. See, I always expected, Steve, I keep referencing winning time. You ever see that about the Showtime Lakers and Pat Riley telling Kareem and Magic that he's not afraid of them and he'll bench them tomorrow and McAdoo lost his prime? I think that's Steve. I guess not, but I mean, nonetheless. Steve, what did you tell the guys post game? What was the message as a head coach?
I didn't think. There was I read the reaction from the team, and they were bummed. And I'm not there to pile on, to that in that moment. I was there to say we were 8-0 coming in. It obviously takes us to 8-1. And I said to them, this was an awesome game. Really admired how we came back. I really admired how we pressed. I really admired how we adjusted to playing zone. I liked that kids were willing to take shots when it mattered. They didn't go in, all of them, but they were willing to take shots when it mattered. And that we got a game on Saturday. And I'm moving on. I'm getting we got, a coach told me one time the most important thing in the NBA that the best coaches get this message across to their team. The game before the holiday, the game after the holiday, meaning Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Those 6 games can make or break a season, and I want that last game going into the holiday to be a game where, because we're going to have a couple weeks off. We're going to have 2.5 weeks off, 3 weeks off. I don't want to that to me, it's critical that we move past this and we have a good thing going into the holiday.
Steve, did you see Colin's mugshot at the end of the game?
In the picture?
We took a picture. Steve, if you haven't, go look at the pictures that our teammate Kate Chumslin sent. It looks like Colin is posing like he's being jailed. Can you smile, kid? You just won the game. Can you smile?
Nothing to smile about. We got to get better.
Your whole team is here. Your whole team is grinning, and Colin looks like he just
go
got
to
bad
jail.
News. Yeah, can we
take it? He's in the paddy wagon.
All these pictures being posted in the ESPN West Palm.
ESPN West Palm on socials and ESPN
good.
West Palm on YouTube, ESPN South Florida on YouTube. You can follow the video. You can actually watch the game and see us mic'd up. Steve, what's going on with Duffy's?
I know it annoys you. I'm going to tell you, I know it annoys you, but I am also happy because you guys, you should be commended. You don't have kids in the league. You don't have to do this. You do this because you love basketball. You want to get involved in the community. You want to help teach kids, and I think that's great. I really do. And if I have to lose to somebody, I'm okay losing to you guys. All right, Duffy's.
Duffy's, Uncle Steve. Duffy's.
Did you want to say thank you or something? Were you going to?
I was going to say thank you, Uncle. I was going to say thank you, Uncle C. But thank us by telling us all the delicious offers at Duffy's.
Great way to put it.
All right, Duffy's for your holidays. I'm sure you're getting a holiday party going, at Duffy's. And why wouldn't you? You have the double smash burger going on. You got the touchdown tots, all the different ways. You got the Duffy's award-winning wings tossed in the 17 flavors. And, of course, you got the game day buckets all season long. And, of course, watch your favorite game, whatever game that is. There's such a variety of sports and options on tonight, including the Golf Channel games tonight. I'm very intrigued on what that's going to look like. Maybe you go out to Duffy's and watch that tonight on one of their 80 TVs. No one does football season like Duffy's. Visit your local Duffy's Sports Grill. Duffy's, our game is always on. And once again, congrats, guys. Great game. I can't wait to hopefully get a rematch.
We'll see you in the playoffs, Uncle Steve.
Appreciate it, Steve. We'll talk soon, all right?
Bye.
That's Steve Politzano, the Good Conference President of the Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer. The loser of the inaugural ESPN Cup to Team Russo and Rizzo, 38-36 final score in youth basketball yesterday. We got to do a little 5 at 5. We got Bill Zito, the general manager of the Florida Panthers, joining us in just about 20 minutes. Stay tuned for it. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Some pirates spend their miserable lives searching for gold and silver. Strike the sails and cast the anchor, mates. I see a floating chest. Tickets to the South Florida Fair. With rides, games, grubs. There'll be something for every mate in your crew. Forget a soul on your list?
Great last-minute gift.
Give them an experience they'll never forget. With tickets to the South Florida Fair.
Now on sale at Publix and SouthFloridaFair.com. Party with the Pirates opens January 16th in West Palm Beach.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Colin, have you checked out Vitacost Sport Certified Marketplace?
Vitacost? I love Vitacost!
Right? It's a full online sports marketplace. Over 500 performance products from trusted brands like Vega, Thorne, Vital Proteins, and Muscle Milk, all free from banned substances.
So no guessing, no label scrubbing, just clean fuel to train harder and recover smarter.
You got it. And don't forget, save 20% with code ESPN20 at sportcertified.com.
Fuel clean, train smarter. Try Sports Certified by Vitacost today.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Don't fumble your finances. Whether you're running a business or running plays, Jay Zolo & Associates keeps your books tight in your stressed life. With nearly 30 years of experience, Jay Zolo is your go-to coach for QuickBooks, offering expert consulting, one-on-one training, and full-service bookkeeping. Jay Zolo & Associates, simplifying your books so you can win on and off the field. Visit jzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Collins!
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, live from Amerant Bank Arena, where you got Panthers-Kings tonight, 7 p.m. You can watch that on ESPN+. The Panthers, who are the winners of 2 in a row, good on home ice, reigning Stanley Cup champions, looking on a quest for a three-peat. Goals just to get into the postseason. We'll talk with general manager Bill Zito coming up momentarily. You got Mike Rizzo and Colin Russo. Christian Cat is holding it down up north at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Christian, welcome in. How you doing today? What's going on?
Feeling productive. Feeling damn productive while people are winding down the content machine. We're cranking it up, and I appreciate that.
All right. Well, in the meantime, let's bounce around. You get the 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking Big Ten.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Number 1.
Well, Carson Beck was doing his pre-round 1 of the college football playoff media availability today, and he showed up with a buzz cut for Carson Beck. How much confidence do you have in the Hurricanes QB1, one of the highest paid players in college football, going into this weekend?
I'm not a Carson Beck guy. The buzz cut does nothing for me in terms of inspire any sort of confidence. It's nothing for me because I think he did this at the beginning of the year. But maybe that's what he's trying to channel. But I think Miami could be competitive in this game just because Texas A&M has not played a lot of good teams throughout the year. They played a lot of lower-tier SEC teams who, yes, are still fairly competitive teams, but they haven't played the top of the line. It's going to be a competitive game. I'm hoping it's a competitive game because you got 2 games that are probably not going to be. I just don't think Miami's all that great.
Christian, let's keep this in mind, too, with Beck, all right? He's got a chance to make a lot of money in the NFL with how he plays. Like, if he goes on a run, say he, plays well against A&M. Say he plays well and damn near wins the game against Ohio State. And he's able to face off against, money is on the line. It's a big spot for Beck. All year long, Beck has had to hear, you're the reason Miami has 2 losses. You single-handedly lost the Louisville game, and you weren't good enough against SMU. That takes a toll, man. That takes, I don't care who you are. I mean, imagine if someone constantly looked at us and told us how terrible we are at our job. Granted, they do sometimes, but you get what I'm saying. Put yourself in this young man's shoes who has an incredible opportunity in the college football playoff, a chance to make some serious scratch and maybe be a day 1 draft pick if all goes well. It's a tremendous amount of pressure. The problem with Colin, the buzz cut to me tells me that, something, he's nervous about something, if anything. I think it's all right, this kid's got a lot going on right now. I think the team is good enough around him, and I actually think he will surprise people. Christian, I've been saying this all year long about Miami. I think they're a good team. Damn near a great team that got in their own way. I think they win at Kyle Field, and I know we will be previewing that coming up later on in the week.
Number 2.
Hey, let's take a look at the NFL as we're heading into Week 16. And did you know that we have no divisional winners yet solidified? This is the first time this has ever happened since 2016, and I misused the word ever in there. First time since 2016 that we have not had a Division 1 going into Week 16. Is this great for the NFL? Is this bad for the NFL? Are you enjoying the parity, or are you not enjoying the parity?
Well, what's good is, the great teams in the NFL right now, at least in terms of record, are in great divisions. You got the NFC West has a number of good teams, including the Rams, and they got 2 teams right behind them on their tail, keeping them honest in a way in Seattle and San Francisco. As for the other side, you get Denver right there, and I know Kansas City's sort of falling apart, but the Chargers are right there on their tail as well. So I think the fact that there are good teams in good competitive divisions makes it interesting because the bad divisions are only going to get 1 bid.
Yeah.
The bad divisions, the AFC North, for example, that's going to be a 1-bid division. That's good. And the fact is, the NFC South is another one. A bad division, going to be a 1-bid, and it's still competitive at the top because nobody has controlled it yet. There's no 13-win team and a bunch of teams that stink. So I think that's the fact that competitive games, end of the year, I know Christmas stinks, but you got a lot of good games coming up in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, Colin took it right from me. you're going to have good games at the end of the year. That means these games in week 16, 17, 18, they're going to be for playoff spots, and they're going to be for the division. I am all for the parity, Christian. I don't need to see the Chiefs anymore. As you guys know, I'm a Mahomes guy. I'm good on the Chiefs. I'm good on the Ravens. No offense, Christian. I know that's your squad. I want to see some new blood, and I can't wait to watch an epic end of the NFL season.
Which division are you the most surprised is not wrapped up yet? That if you were to ask week 1, which division is going to be done once you get to November, let alone December?
AFC South, I'm surprised, is a very competitive division, and I'm surprised that it's been sort of a 3-team race all year long. So that's one that I actually expected either Indianapolis or Houston to control that from the get-go, and having 3 teams competitive I think is a good thing.
Christian, it's the NFC South for me. I took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over at 9.5 games. It looked like I was going to be cashing that very early based on the hot start that Tampa Bay got. But give credit to, I can't believe I'm saying this because I think they stink, but give credit to the Panthers. They're a 500 ball club, and they have a chance to win the division. It's got to be the NFC South for me. I thought it was Tampa Bay and a whole lot of teams that are going to be high in the NFL draft.
Number 3.
Well, we're still reeling from the Phil Rivers unretirement. Led a game-winning drive for the Colts until it wasn't over the weekend. So that people beg the question to Tom Brady, who unretired once, and he was asked, has anyone reached out to you to unretire for a second time? Here's what Tom Brady had to say when he answered that question.
Yes, when I retired the second time, there was a team that reached out, but I'm not going to tell you who. I'm going to leave you guys guessing on that. But it was actually a little bit intriguing, but at that time, I was pretty certain.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
I was pretty certain that I was done. Not as done as him, but I was done.
Not as done as Terry Bradshaw, says Tom Brady. If you were to guess, in the past 3 or 4 years, which team reached out to Tom Brady? Of course, we are just speculating.
Which team? The Raiders. Can they do that? Is that legal?
I would say the Falcons.
Is the Raiders legal?
Jackie Moonit, player, owner.
Can you do that?
They probably reached out to him to be a player. And then Al Davis, and then.
Well, hey, he's a part owner, too.
Is
that legal?
Mark Davis, sorry. The son of Al Davis probably was like, all right, well, let's at least get you in the building. I want you involved in the building. That's probably the best shout. Best shout would probably be the Raiders, boys. Maybe the Falcons. Didn't they sign? They signed Kirk Cousins, that awful deal. Maybe the Colts. The Colts have been flirting with life after Andy Luck. It seems like they've gone
75% positive. The 75% positive. That's pretty redundant. But I'm pretty sure Brady could have taken the Falcons to the playoffs this year. Off the couch. If they signed him with 3 weeks to go in training camp, Brady could have taken that team to the playoffs.
Tom Brady, do we forget the Tom Brady that played in the last? I'll give him credit here. They were in the playoffs, and they had a home playoff game. They won their division. But it seemed like he wasn't the Brady that won a Super Bowl 2 years ago for that team anymore.
We don't need him to be. He could bring that team to a postseason. He can. Is that crazy?
Yeah, I don't think he can at this point.
I think Brady tomorrow.
I don't think he could. And listen, believe it or not, even you think I wouldn't like Tom Brady, but I actually do really like Tom Brady. He's my GOAT at the position. Colin, I don't think so. I don't think he'd be healthy for a full 17-game season.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Well, we're looking ahead to Saturday, where you've got packed to the gills football from noon on, where, of course, I mentioned Miami A&M at noon, the 10-7 matchup in the CFP. At 3:30, you've got Tulane and Ole Miss. But then at 5 o'clock, you've got Eagles-Commanders. And then a staggered start because James Madison, Oregon in the CFP at 7:30. And 8 o'clock, it's Packers-Bears. How are you going to manage your screen setup? Because the NFL and college football double-booked football fans.
A lot of people are upset at the NFL for booking games on Saturday during the playoff.
I'm one of those people.
The NFL doesn't care. They don't care. Well, Packers-Bears versus, a group of 5 team in a college football playoff? It should be their day, but
Kyle, I completely agree with you. It's our job to watch these games, and I will be watching these games. But Eagles and Commanders, you could go, okay, please, spare me on that game. I don't need to watch that game. It's the Packer and Bear game. That's the game. That might be the best game of the year. To this date, at this point in the season, with where they're at in the division, The Bears finally achieved. Remember what I always bring up what Ben Johnson said in his introductory press conference to being the Bear coach. He said the days of Green Bay stomping on us are over. He had a chance to do that in Green Bay no less than a week and a half ago. And now here's their chance at home. And it could, this win, you're my division guy who's going to win what? You're my futures guy. This win puts them in a great spot to win that division.
Because if the Packers win this game somehow, some way in Soldier Field, then all those questions about them losing Micah Parsons and their season effectively being over, at least in the grand scope of going for a Super Bowl, that changes things. Because then it puts you in a good spot still to make a divisional run, and it shows you that you can still beat good teams on the road without your best defensive player. Is it impossible? No. Is it unlikely? Yeah. In terms of one of the top games of the year thus far, I completely agree with you there. But in terms of going against it, that first 12 o'clock, the thing is, I'm selfish. I'm going to have college basketball going, too. There's good games this weekend.
Attaboy.
So I'm probably going to go Packer Bear main TV. I might do small TV college basketball and then computer on the college football playoff for the night game. That's what I might do. That might be the wrong way to do it. I think that's how I'm going to do it.
Christian, if you listen to the show, you know I love my YouTube TV. I got my quad box on my 75-incher, brother. I'm ready to rock.
Okay,
I'm ready
so
to rock. And
one
I have
screen split in the quad box. That's what you're doing?
I'm going, at 8 o'clock, remind me which college football playoff game is on during the Bear game?
The night game is the Oregon game.
Yeah, that dude. So we're going to, whatever big games are on, Christian, we're going to have them in the quad boxes,
and now,
no matter what.
Are you standing idly by and managing the volume where games go to commercial? You switch the volume?
Correct. And that, a drone can do that. I could do that while, I'm laying down.
I wish, man.
So.
I'm horrible at that.
Are you?
I just don't
You hit the wrong button.
Or not even that. These damn phones in our pockets divert attention, and I am Pavlovian trained to go to my phone when I hear Limu Emu. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take active consideration to go to the audio of the game that's not at break.
Limu's on the field again. That's the running joke with my friends and I.
Since I have multiple screens, I actually have the audio on all of them.
The must-see.
What?
I have the audio on all of them.
That's
you're a psychopath. you call me crazy for the 15 screens.
Look
That's
at the screen, and then you can pick
That's
apart
nuts.
which audio it's going on right now.
Fair enough. You can tell by the roar. Christian, there are 2 games. If you're a sports fan, there are 2 games you want to be tuned in for that day. You need to be around for that noon game, the Miami and Texas A&M. You need to be around for that Bear game.
You need to be around for the Ole Miss game.
Not really. That's gonna be a 50-point game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Without Lane Kiffin?
Correct.
I think that's a big story.
The talent gap.
To see how they play.
Colin, the issue.
How are they? How are they going to be
college,
offensively?
You know I love college football. The talent gap between those teams is just too.
How are they going to play?
I'm convinced Ole Miss could throw 4 interceptions and still win the game. Granted, I don't think Chambliss, who he hasn't thrown 4 interceptions all game. He's been pretty all year. He's been pretty good quarterback for Ole Miss. You really got to beat yourselves in those games in order to not win that. And they already won by about 40 points in the regular season.
Tulane's playing with house money, and Ole Miss, I think there's a lot of questions to see how they play.
I'll listen.
Not defensively, but offensively.
I'll listen.
That will be a curious game. James Madison, that's going to be a quick one. That will be a quick one.
Yeah, correct.
Number
Dante Moore,
5.
3 touchdowns at half.
You guys want to talk NBA Cup, or do you want to touch Joe Burrow?
NBA Cup.
Colin, he watched that godforsaken NBA game.
All right, 52 years is long enough. But the New York Knicks have raised a championship and will not hang a banner at MSG. What were your thoughts on the second ever Emirates Cup and the Knicks getting a little bit of an achievement there, and they seemed gassed up after that clock went to 0?
2 things. Number 1, they should hang something in the building. They should hang something. And number 2, it was a good game against a good team. They make $500,000 for one game. All right, that's not too bad, not too shabby. It's grown on me a little bit. Do I think it's the best thing in the world? Do I think you make a huge deal of it? No, but the Knicks haven't won anything since 1973. And it's a team that hasn't been to a finals in quite some time, 94, 95. So because of that, I would say, throw something up in the rafters. There's nothing wrong with that. NBA, you throw the division titles up there. And, you throw all that stuff if you win this division or that division in the regular season. So I can't listen to that. So because I would say hang something up.
Yeah, no. You don't need to hang something up. It's a ridiculous story. Christian, I tried getting behind this thing last year and getting you guys interested in on it. You weren't. I punted this tournament.
We flipped.
That was the 5 at 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union. We'd like to welcome in the general manager of the Florida Panthers, Bill Zito, going to be joining us momentarily. It's Russo Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Wing Wednesday, brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? If you're the victim of a car crash, you will always speak to a lawyer. You'll always get the highest standard of care from our dedicated legal team, and we'll always fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't wait. Call 1-800-747-FREE. In office, West Palm Beach.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. We're live at Amerant Bank Arena where you got Panthers Kings tonight. It's day 3 of Hanukkah, I believe. So they got to lighten the menorah out front here at Amerant Bank. So a lot of fans are here nice and early, 7 p.m. Puck drop on ESPN+. Go watch the Boca Bowl because the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans is coming to South Florida again. Louisville, Toledo, December 23rd, 2 p.m. on ESPN. You can watch it and listen to it right here as well. Go see Louisville, Toledo, and go see a whole lot of beans. First 2,000 people that get in there and bring a can of Bush's Baked Beans get a free ticket to the game. So there's your opportunity to go watch Louisville, Toledo for some bowl season. Coming up next week, it's a week from yesterday, 23rd. That's the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. Go find more information at Boca Bowl at Twitter and Facebook. I'd like to welcome in the general manager of the Florida Panthers, who are home tonight at Amerant Bank Arena, Mr. Bill Zito. The year number 5 for you as general manager for the Florida Panthers. Appreciate you giving us the time. How you doing?
Good. Doing great, actually. Yeah, getting ready for the game and had some meetings today, and now it's a difficult time right now. All I am is in the way.
And
it's true.
In the way, how?
The players are doing their thing. The coaches are doing their thing. Everybody's doing their thing. And I'm just in the way. I hang out.
You're almost a fan right now? You're just like hanging out, watch everything play out?
Yes.
You don't like do you like being a fan?
Oh, yeah. Do you?
He's got nothing else.
I love it.
Absolutely.
His work comes in the off-season. Bill's work comes in the off-season.
I see. Because you say you're getting in the way.
This hour, this 2-hour period of the day is when you can be a fan. But no, it's pretty much work the other.
Oh, really?
22 hours.
Because it's not trade deadline yet. Or, I mean, you could make moves now. It'd be a little early, but you're watching these guys, and you got a big homestand end of November into December, and so it's been a fun time for the Florida Panthers. I guess one thing that everybody was talking about, and I want to ask you about quickly, hey, the Winter Classic is coming into town January 2nd, Mr. Zito. You're going to see some outdoor action down at Lone Depot Park in Miami. I have a logistical question for you. Are you under the impression that the ice will be compromised because of the hot weather of South Florida?
No, and I appreciate you asking, and I appreciate why people ask. There's a roof. There's a roof in the stadium, so you are.
They're going to open.
I understand that, but the time period it would take to affect that sheet of ice, and even tonight, we were joking before I came on, that there's a chance in late December, early January nights in South Florida, you might dip into the 60s.
Yep.
Well, the temperature in this building is in the 60s. So it's not that dissimilar from the controlled climate that we exist in our arenas. And the expertise of the league and not just the expertise, but the work these guys put in, it's fascinating. Like they should do a content piece just on how they go about doing it and create the ice. And there's so much that goes into it. For example, it's not just water. There's chemicals in there. I think there's some chlorine. I think there's some bleach. I think there's some other chemicals that help
keep the integrity?
Keep the integrity of the ice and increase the density of the ice. The way they spray it on, they don't just take a hose and flood it. Like they do it layer by layer with mist. It's really neat. And it's a lot of work, a lot of science, and probably as important, not as important as those two, but very important is they care.
Well, that'll be
and they're very proud of it.
That'll be a premier event coming up in a couple of weeks here. I'm sure you're asked about it every 5 seconds, talking about the Winter Classic. But for you as a general manager hosting that great event, it's going to be a premier event in the regular season for you guys and for the NHL as a whole. Is that going to feel differently? And tell me about that difference in feeling between that type of game and playing over here behind us at Amerant Bank Arena.
Yeah, because of the ceremony surrounding the event. I tried to describe this today earlier. It pulls and I'll use this word, romance of the game out of you. What you just asked me, is it, do you like being a fan? Yeah, we love being a fan. We're going to be part of something that we're spreading our game in South Florida and really league-wide as well, right? All kinds of attention on not just our team and our club and our communities, but our fan base. And the people have been here since day one, who are rabid hockey fans and love the Panthers, believe in the Panthers. We're one of the, I don't know how many people we had at the parades, but it's probably 8 million depending on who you talk to, right? And to celebrate all of that with a hockey game, that to me is it's every little thing that you think about the anticipation, and I'll use this word, excitement. It's real. It's tangible in this instance.
It's a full circle moment, probably, for everything, all the accomplishments you guys have been able to have over the last couple of years, to have something like this in Miami and you guys being a team in the Winter Classic. Is it a sense of, hey, we're one of the main teams now and we should be proud of what we've been able to accomplish here the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think honestly it's less about our team than the privilege that we have to represent our league in the sport, in this event. So when you grow up playing hockey outside, it's awesome. It's so much fun. And to think that you would be able to do that in the NHL, our guys are really, I think Matthew said today he was jacked, or Sasha, somebody said that. Like, how do you feel? Jacked, and they are. And then the fact that we get to share it with our fans, with our families, with our friends, with pretty much all of South Florida. We're going down, into the Miami area where we don't play games. We play up here in Broward.
Yep.
But just expanding it, and how many people are going to get introduced to hockey because of this and say, this is wonderful. I want to go again. And that's what we need to do.
It's interesting that you said that because, you go down to the Miami area, it's a lot of baseball, it's a lot of football. And last time we spoke, Bill Zito with us now, the general manager of the Florida Panthers, is we talked about the expansion of hockey in South Florida specifically. And not only that, just because you guys, the Florida Panthers, have been this good, hockey is really fun when you're regionally around it because, hey, going to the games, the parades, Fort Lauderdale, it's becoming a premier hockey destination, but expanding into Miami just adds a whole another dimension. You guys obviously have fans from Miami, but playing there, I think just seeing it and kind of breathing it offers something different. But tell me a little bit about, in your time, that 4 or 5 years, the expansion of that Florida fan base, especially here in South Florida, comparatively to what you've seen.
It's remarkable that where I notice it a lot, and so for me it's telling, obviously at the grocery store when people know who you are. And
you started getting recognized. At what point did you start getting recognized in a grocery store?
Probably the third year. The third year, and the kids were just.
So after the Stanley Cup, after the Stanley Cup
killing
win,
me.
after the first Stanley Cup victory, or was it after the Stanley Cup appearance against Vegas?
No, I think it was before. It was before we won it, and it was
before?
yeah.
Okay.
I know. I'll tell you where it was. A fresh.
turned
It was
it
a
around.
fresh market right over here, and we went to get Grater's ice cream, and my daughter goes. She was so embarrassed. Oh, you're such a. Oh my God, are you a dork, Dad? Oh, and it was just killing her.
Wow.
But then now, in the Keys. You see it a lot.
Yep.
You see boats with flags on them. You see the license plates. You see the signs up in the restaurants and bars. If the games will be on, people tell me I'm at most of the games. But I got a text from a buddy of mine, Donnie Hemish from Chicago, who's retired now in Key West. And he sent me a text, hey, I just wanted you to know I went to Publix the other day, and a guy got out of his car, went to his trunk and put his Panthers jersey on, and then went into the store. And you could tell that he did it because he was proud.
Wow.
And
he
he
didn't wear
said-
the Panther jersey in the car. He had to be,
He
wanted to show it.
I like that.
Yeah,
You make a point out of it. Make a point out of it.
So he didn't want to wrinkle it. But you know, in the moment, so my buddy Donnie was cognizant of, listen, that's what was going on. And that's great to hear. But even more important than that is the fun that people get to have. Because we have a wonderful sport. Our games are awesome. There's something for kids. There's fights, if you like fights. It's just so much fun. And that's part of what we try to do with our players is you'll hear Paul Maurice say, I want our players to work harder than they've ever worked. But I also want them to have more fun than they've ever had.
And obviously you guys, you got everything in front of you still. But the question I'm going to ask, what's the one thing you're most proud of? Is it, and granted, you guys have won 2 straight cups. Like I said, you got the whole season in front of you to possibly win a third. Is it bringing the pride back of the fan base, or is it maybe something else?
I never thought about it. It's a great question. It's hard in this instance to think, what am I proud of? So just if you could spend any time with us, you would understand that if you ask that question to anyone, it's not I, it's we. But it's a real we. And so I can't answer it. I don't know. I know ratings are going to plummet now. But
people are turning off the radio.
No worries.
There's I think
the family.
I think a
built.
considerable portion, and it's well more than it's greater than 80% of the players who've come here have had the best years of their career.
That's from a performance perspective. I even think you could allude to the story you just told us about the guy in the Keys who's getting his Florida Panther jersey out of the trunk of his car to wear it into the grocery store. And to think that maybe that guy was been doing it for 20 years, maybe he's been doing it for 2. And I think that type of influence has got to be something that not only have you been a part of, all the players, Paul Maurice, and even everybody who's involved here with the Florida Panthers can kind of take some ownership of.
For sure, but it doesn't happen unless everybody takes a servant approach to their role in the collective. And so if everybody's bought in, and they are, I don't know what's going to happen this year, but I can tell you that the room is bought in. The coaches are bought in. The scouts are bought in to understand that the only way that we're going to get it done is together as a team. And it really, the way they treat each other, the way they treat others is the definition of team.
Bill Zito, the general manager, with us now on Russo and Rizzo. Now, Bill, you've had a fascinating career. We've talked about it before, but being a former agent yourself, then shifting into front office, a Milwaukee guy, born and raised Wisconsin. He's a Badger, by the way. Law school at UW-Madison, so same as myself. And but on top of that, I wanted to kind of get into the differences that you see as a general manager versus when you were in representation of players. Because I know you've been asked this 1,000 times, but I'm curious from a perspective of what you talked about, the scouts, the coaches, everybody sort of being honed in on a similar goal. Comparatively to when you're representation of players and representing a player, it could be, yes, you're worried about their teams, but you're worried about the player at the bottom line. Tell me a little bit about, from a management perspective, what you have learned in this career shift that you've made in the last 10, 15 years that you did not have or maybe had to learn post-aging career?
There's one immediate trait of our existence that comes to mind immediately. We have a brilliant gentleman, who has a storied NHL career named Rick Dudley, who works with us. And Rick has been the GM of 3 teams. He built the Chicago Blackhawks. They went on to win. Tampa Bay, they went on to win. He's a brilliant man and a wonderful guy, dear friend. And I'm an agent, and he was actually somebody that helped me when I was an agent. I kind of built it through scouting. And so he was helping me and in the rinks with me and this type of thing. Well, if he would win a game, you'd think it's the greatest day in the history of the world. And if he'd lose, that's it. Sun's not coming up tomorrow.
Ride or die.
And I used to give him so much grief. Rick, you lost. Guess what? You're going to lose again. Get over it. And it's just, you have to stay the course, Rick. You need to understand that even the best season could be 10 losses, right? So just chill out. How are you getting so upset? First game, first goal against, sellouts, honey. The sun's not coming up tomorrow. And it just happens to you. You get so invested in it, and then you intellectually this is ridiculous to feel this way, but the emotions creep in and get you. And it's not that you lose your poise or that you can't handle it, but I think everybody goes through it, and at least I haven't figured out a way not to.
Now, Bill, you made the switch. Is there a moment where you knew, like, hey, I made the right decision? Because, there's probably...
Before I did it.
Before you did it, okay.
I think it was, I'm not sure the exact. When did Boston win it, 2010?
2000, I think so, 2010, 2011.
Okay.
I'd have to double check.
I represented a guy
Chicago was 2010. I believe Boston was 2011. I believe.
Okay, that's right. Okay. I represented a goalie named Tim Thomas, who won the Conn Smythe that year for Boston. And he's a guy who had been a client of mine for like 10 years. And he was in the minors for 9 years. And everybody told him. They made fun of me. Oh, you're going to try to get us Tim Thomas again? And all he did was perform. Everywhere in the world. He was MVP in Finland, champion in Sweden. So the game ended, and I was in the hallway waiting, and I think he even had a book with me because I knew it was going to be a while. And he won the Stanley Cup, and he came out and got me and said, you have to come out on the ice with us. I said, no. He said, oh, yeah, you have to. I'm not going out without you. And I went out to center ice with him, and I also represented the backup goalie, Tuukka Rask. And Tuukka came out, and Timmy and I are crying, and can you believe it? And he's laughing at us, going, you guys are done. And the 3 of us are all there, and this is the coolest thing you can imagine. I'm at center ice in Vancouver, and they turned and said, okay, we got to go. And I think he actually went to accept the trophy, and I was standing out there by myself, and I realized this is the coolest thing you could ever imagine. Can you imagine center ice, that Stanley Cup championship?
Wow.
And you're not a part of it. And I never felt so alone.
You felt left out.
I felt like almost embarrassed in front of myself, but so alone. And I went and I checked out of the hotel and got in the red eye and went home. And I knew at that moment I want to be. I mean, I always knew I wanted to be part of an NHL team.
But that was the moment.
But that was the moment I'm like, if this can happen,
I'm taking steps to be
it's
involved
gonna
in the
happen.
team.
Yeah.
So is that your favorite part about being a GM, being involved with the team, being with a collective group, as you described it, right-minded individuals trying to work towards the same goal?
I think, at least for me, there's a couple of different layers.
Right.
There's the competitive part of it. We're going to. There's a game tonight. There's the fanboy part of it, where you had said, "Oh, how do you feel about being a fan?" It's the greatest thing in the world, being a fan. I'm going to work and I'm watching a game. What could be better than that? And then you can build and you can create things and help people and maybe see people develop. And then there's the grow the game part, which for a guy like me, who would have ever thought I'd be able to have a role in growing the game? And I've got kids who play and then watching them have opportunities to play. So there's a lot of different layers that go into it. There's still, for me, the juice of of the game. You know, but the anthem ends, now it's on, and it's fun. It's so much fun. I think that might, if I had to pick one thing, that would be it.
And you always had that even when you were starting out your career, because I know you were with the Columbus Blue Jackets organization. You were the assistant general manager there, and then you were also in part with the Cleveland Monsters, Mike's favorite AHL team as well. And so even throughout then, when you got sort of two teams that you're keeping an eye on, you still have that moment where anthem's on, we're locked in.
Every time, every single time. Exhibition game.
And even
rookie camp, it's just part of I think of the DNA, and I think it's probably the same for almost any general manager or anybody who works on the sports side of pro sports. Now there certainly is that cerebral level where you are playing chess in your head, right? What can I do? How can I get better? And all those types of thoughts, and I need to do this, and you have a myriad of responsibilities that you need to take care of, and it's all going on. It's not like you just check out during the game. But that level of fun and the sincere competitive nature of what we're doing is really cool.
And, Bill, last thing here before we let's go. Appreciate you giving us the time. Seriously, on a game day like this, it's been awesome.
I'm not playing.
But if they needed you,
you guys are killing.
You're fanboy. Hang on, you're fanboy.
You're saving Addie from having to deal with me for more time.
Couple weeks now, everybody's been worried about, not worried, but sort of eyes have been on Matthew Tkachuk and his eventual return. As far as last I checked, we weren't sure whether he was going to play in the Winter Classic when it eventually comes in a couple of weeks here. I know he's been skating. Is there an update on that front in terms of when we could expect a little ramping up, or where are we at in the process with Matthew Tkachuk?
No, when we first announced that Matthew was out, somebody asked for a return date, and I said Christmas. I didn't mean December 25th at midnight. I don't know. I think it's still, he's tracking that way. It's almost like when you have a flu and you have a fever real bad one day and a fever real bad the next day, and it kind of goes down the next day, and someone says, when's your fever going to be gone? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow, maybe 2 days. We don't have that answer. I'm not being coy, but he's tracking with his recovery on schedule, and I think that there's a time he's going to be ready, and then that's it. And I can't define it because I don't know.
Still's got a little bit of the fever. I like that.
I'm
going to steal that too. That's a good way to put it.
But I don't know, when is summer going to be here?
I don't
know. June 23rd.
Depends where you live. Here. Hang on.
January 10th.
No, it depends where you live. You're from Wisconsin. I mean, it could be May.
Summer comes Memorial Day weekend. For Wisconsinites, Memorial Day weekend.
What is the date of the summer solstice? Is that what we ask?
June 21.
21.
There you go.
Okay, so
she
then,
knew.
so summer's going to be here the 21st.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Might be here in May. Who knows?
It's spoken like a Wisconsinite right there.
Correct.
But, Bill, we appreciate you giving us the time. Best of luck tonight. I'll be at the game as well. It should be a good one. A lot of fans here lining up already outside for all the festivities. Looking forward to doing this again sometime, all right?
Anytime.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, guys.
Bill Zito, the general manager of the Florida Panthers. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. Go down to the Hard Rock Bet app today because you can download it and get involved on all the games tonight, including football, basketball, college basketball, NHL. You can get involved with the Panthers tonight. That's player props, live betting, parlays. It has it all. Go to the Discover page, and you can see what other users are putting together. Tap and tag along. It is that easy. You bet just $5 in the app today. You win that first $5 bet. Get $150 in bonus bets immediately. That is Hard Rock Bet. Try it today. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Live from Amaranth Bank Arena, Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo taking a time out. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMITTED. Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with George Teixeira, partner and practice leader of Anshin's Financial Services Group.
When launching a private investment fund, proper structuring could mean the difference between high tax bills and smart tax savings. The new One Big Beautiful Bill Act permanently extends the 20% deduction on qualified business income, makes favorable changes to exclusions of gains of qualified small business stock, and brings back full expensing on capital investments. For fund managers, this means new opportunities to reduce taxable income and improve cash flow. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we specialize in building tax-efficient structures that help funds and their investors make the right decisions today for greater success tomorrow. If you are launching a fund in this new environment, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
It's time to spill the beans, football fans. The 12th annual Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans is Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Louisville, fresh off wins over playoff teams Miami and James Madison, faces Toledo, chasing a record third bowl title. Louisville versus Toledo. Scoop your seats now at BocaRatonBowl.com. The Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Hey Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
It's time to spill the beans, football fans. The 12th annual Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans is Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Louisville, fresh off wins over playoff teams Miami and James Madison, faces Toledo, chasing a record third bowl title. Louisville versus Toledo. Scoop your seats now at BocaRatonBowl.com. The Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Some pirates spend their miserable lives searching for gold and silver. Strike the sails and cast the anchor, mates. I see a floating chest. Tickets to the South Florida Fair. With rides, games, grubs. There'll be something for every mate in your crew. Forget a soul on your list?
Great last-minute gift.
Give them an experience they'll never forget. With tickets to the South Florida Fair.
Now on sale at Publix and SouthFloridaFair.com. Party with the Pirates opens January 16th in West Palm Beach.
Wing Wednesday, brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Counting down the hours, counting down the minutes till the Optum Golf Channel games coming up tonight. 7:30 under the lights at Trump Jupiter. You can see Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. First time on the ice together. On the golf course together.
We're on the ice.
On the golf course together since the Ryder Cup. See Keegan Bradley, see Luke Donald, see Shane Lowry, all in one spot doing a little bit of an arcade style of golf. They're going to have 5 different competitions that they compete on only about 3 holes. It's going to be an intimate environment. About 2,000 people are going to be there, so you can be up close and personal. Go see if more tickets are available today at thegolfchannelgames.com and get up north, or go watch it tonight on the Golf Channel or the USA Network. That is the Optum Golf Channel Games. First of its kind, the inaugural season this year. It's Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. We're at Emirates Bank Arena. Band's blaring, the fans are pouring in, and we got LA Kings in town against the Florida Panthers, 7 p.m. puck drop on ESPN. Big thanks to Mr. Bill Zito, the general manager of this very team, the Florida Panthers, for giving us about 20 minutes previously. If you missed any of that, missed any of the previous parts of the show, go listen back on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. That is Russo and Rizzo. Really quickly, I didn't get all my thoughts out about the NBA Cup. I actually think it's I like it now. I've changed my mind. I was a hater when they first announced.
Yeah, you were. You and Christian you completely dismissed it, so I moved on.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because it's not like a playoff game. It's straight up, it's a mercenary game. It's for money. You're getting paid $500,000 if you win. For a bench player, that's pretty big time money. And outside of that, I watched the game yesterday. It was an intense game. I think the Knicks were lucky that Wembanyama's on a minutes restriction. But outside of that, like, usually good teams are there. It's the only game that night. It's got a little event television feel. They should hang something up.
No.
What, are you going to wait for the next NBA
need.
Finals? It was
No need.
52 years ago.
There's no need. Why would you hang something up, though? There's no need.
They probably hang it up. If Jalen
Pointless.
Brunson were to lead
You
the
want to
league,
hang up a banner that means something. Like
if Jalen Brunson were to get a scoring title, they'd probably hang it up. It's the same thing. They won a tournament. It's mid-season. Yes, they're not getting a trophy. There's not going to be a parade. You might be laughed upon that I believe it's second year. But why not?
You guys foo-fooed. You guys hate all my soccer ideas I have. This is a soccer idea. You're winning silverware within your own league.
I don't think they need a trophy and the hats and the shirts, but throw something up. You get $500,000, salute, thank you, and move on with your day.
Then you need a trophy if you're going to throw something up. Listen, they think the money makes them play, apparently. They're bribing them with the money. That's how you got to get these guys to try during the regular season. That's where I'm at with that league. Got to bribe them with $500,000
So
to
build
try.
off that point, I want more opportunities for competitive NBA regular season games. You only get that on holidays. You'll get that in NBA Cup games as well, because the Spurs-Thunder game was an excellent game, only the second game the Thunder lost all year. And yesterday's game was pretty entertaining at that. Knicks controlled it, but nonetheless, that's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. What those NBA players do have is they probably use VitaCost Sports Certified Marketplace. What is VitaCost? Well, VitaCost is the place to go if you're looking for supplements, if you're looking for nutritional ads. You got to understand that showing up and going to the gym, doing the training, is only about 20 to 30% of the whole thing. 80% is the actual nutrition. VitaCost Sports Certified Marketplace has over 400 sports-enhancing supplements that are all certified, which means no funny business. They're all free of nothing crazy going on. And you can go today and check out their Sports Certified Marketplace and use the code ESPN20 for 20% off. That is code ESPN20 for 20% off. That's VitaCost Sports Certified Marketplace. I don't know where I would have been with my Ironman training without it. Go check it out today and go take your game to the next level. That is Mike Rizzo and Colin Russo live from Emirates Bank Arena saying so long. Tune into the Panthers today. We'll be back at it tomorrow right here on ESPN 106.3.
Whether it's a clutch touchdown pass, a game-winning dunk, or an impressive dash to the finish, we want to highlight the best performance of the week. The winning performance will receive $500